How's it going, everyone? The Packers are continuing to look at all of their potential weaknesses, and Matt LaFleur is not done changing at the coaching staff with Joe Barry. He's also decided to fire Chris Gizzi, who was the team's strength and conditioning coach, which, looking back at it, is actually a pretty good thing. So Chris Gizzi has been with the Packers for actually quite a long time. So he's been with the organization since 2013 and pretty much was the assistant strength and conditioning coach from 2014 to 2018. Then when Matt LaFleur came over to Green Bay, he promoted him to the team's strength and conditioning coach, and he's held that title since, well, till he was fired. And it kind of makes a lot of sense when you're looking at it because, well, especially this year, we have dealt with a ton of injuries, like tons. You couldn't even fit it on the screen. I had to start breaking it up into two parts just because we had like 16, 17. At one point, we had 21 players that were injured. And even going back to our bye week, we somehow got more injured on a bye week. So Matt LaFleur did say he was going to look at every corner and look at everything. And it looks like he is still holding true to that and has decided to fire our strength and conditioning coach. Hopefully we get a better one. I feel like every year with the Packers, from what I remember, we are always injured, and he's been part of the helm in some capacity. So a change was needed. So kind of glad to see this. We dealt with a lot of injuries this year and a lot of soft tissue injuries at that. So hopefully this change will be in a good direction because it felt like we were always injured, not just this year, just it seemed to be a Packer thing. It's like run defense and Packers, like they just don't get along. Packers injuries, it was a thing. So the Packers will be looking for a new strength and conditioning coach as well as a defensive coordinator. Now, kind of talking about Joe Barry again, I know we know he was fired, but there have been even more reports coming out that despite Joe Barry being fired as the defensive coordinator or relieved of his duties, considering we still don't know his contract, he could still play a part on this staff. So there have apparently been reports and talks that Joe Barry could come back to the Packers as maybe a positional coach, which actually would be a good thing. Joe Barry, the defensive coordinator, did not do a good job. He could not call plays very well, and it just wasn't a good defensive coordinator. But after he was fired, a lot of players came out saying he was a very well-liked person, and he did have a history of being really well-liked and also a very good linebackers coach. So if he actually came back onto the staff, pending whoever our defensive coordinator is okay with it, and him come back as a linebackers coach, then that would probably be a very good move for the Packers. Because as long as he's not a defensive coordinator and not in charge of scheme and play calling, that's a good thing. But him as a linebackers coach, cool. That would actually benefit the Packers very well, especially since, depending on what the Packers do, we could have a change at our linebacker room. But just coming out with more of an update. Usually I wouldn't talk about a strength and conditioning coach, but I felt like this one was actually pretty important due to the fact we've dealt with so many injuries. But let me know what you think down in the comments. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and as always, go Pack Go.